when interacting with anybody, just have a little bit of patience because you don't know what they're dealing with or what their level of social function is, Madison said. Holly Madison is opening up about her autism diagnosis. During a recent appearance on the Talking to Death podcast, the former Playboy bunny-turned-entrepreneur explained her experience with autism and how it impacts her relationship with others to host Payne Lindsay. The doctor told me that I have high executive functioning, which means I can pretty much go about my life and do things normally, the 43-year-old said. I think because I'm more quiet, I've only recently learned to make eye contact, I'm often in my own thoughts, things like that, so people take that as offensive. They're like, dumb, you're not super interested in me, F you, she explained with a laugh. Like, I'm just not on the same social wavelength as other people, but don't take it personally. So I like being able to explain that. Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is a neurological and developmental disorder that affects how people interact with others, communicate, learn, and behave, according to the National Institutes of Health. Although it can be diagnosed at any age, symptoms generally appear in the first 2 years of life. Madison continued, I also don't really have a gauge for when other people are gonna be done speaking, so I tend to interrupt a lot, which pisses people off. You're doing fine right now, Lindsay said before the Down the Rabbit Hole author replied, thanks, I'm learning. He then asked what message Madison would like to share with people about autism and her experience living with the disorder. That everybody operates differently and, when interacting with anybody, just have a little bit of patience because you don't know what they're dealing with or what their level of social function is, she said. Madison first talked about not being neurotypical and having a hard time fitting in while growing up during an April 2021 appearance on the Call Her Daddy podcast. The Girls Next Door star told host Alex Cooper that she believed she had Asperger's and was contemplating seeing a doctor. Asperger's syndrome and autism both come under the autism spectrum disorder. I want to go get diagnosed because I've always had a difficult time connecting with other people, she said at the time. Madison later confirmed in September on the Ahead of the Curve with Coco Mecco podcast that she received a formal diagnosis as someone on the spectrum.